How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video talking about Death Note. We'll be talking about episodes 21 and 22. Now, quick thing I should probably mention right off the bat is before recording this video, I was going to have a new background video, or, for the initial visual, where it would have the opening, or the second opening, which is, I'm going to say, very chaotic, again, but to some regard, I was having issues rendering the entire background video. So, in that regard, I'm just going to continue using the one I've been using so far for my videos. So, again, I apologize. I wish I could use that, but at the same time, it's more work than it's worth, especially when I try to, everything works out and then I try rendering it. For whatever reason, it doesn't render. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't use the new background video. Okay, so starting us off, we have episode 21, which is titled Performance, where with the help of Geraldo Cole, they set up an appointment for Misa to be interviewed by the board members of the Yatsuba group, or company. Yeah, Yatsuba group. And to some regard, in that particular interview, she's questioned about possibly being the second Kira, or why she was, obtained, or I guess imprisoned by L. And to some regard, she basically tries to do her best to act the whole role of being being interviewed. And at some point, she goes to the bathroom and or at least to kind of recollect herself, and she is touched by the a scrap of paper from the Death Note that Rem has, and she's able to see Rem. And Rem kind of gives, I mean, even though it's not the full, I guess we get more detail about this. So apparently, if she had the full notebook, she would regain all of her memories, or at least that's what it sounds like. But she didn't, so they just used the scrap of paper, so that way, at the very least, she's able to see Rem. And to go further than that, apparently, with the help of Rem, they're able to figure out who exactly is the one that is setting up, or at least not setting up, but is Kira, is setting up people to die, and so on. So at this point, with Rem, or at least Misa, with the help of Rem, Misa not only knows who Kira is, but also knows and doesn't tell that Light is actually Kira. So, in some regard, she has to play the innocent one as if she, doesn't know all this information. And in that regard, starts to go on her own to help the investigation, which by means of going on dates with the board members, particularly the one that is taking control of Rem's Death Note, and basically incriminating him by means of recording him and showing kind of playing as if she is the second Kira. I mean, we know she's the second Kira, but in some regard, and I like her plan, by the way. I really do like her plan, where she kind of baits him to telling her that he is the current Kira, and to prove to him that he was Kira, with Rem, by the way, with Rem inside the car with them, pretending not to see Rem, he or she proceeds to kill a person that the board member wants her to kill. And with that evidence of, that person dying, she then, convinces him to prove that he is Kira. And at first he says he can't because he doesn't have the notebook. But in that regard, she recorded the entire conversation, so she knows or gives that information to Kira, or not Kira, but to Elle, Light, and the rest of the police, or at least the investigators. So in that regard, they know who exactly is the current Kira. The question now is, how exactly are they going to take him down? Alright, episode 22, and I gotta say, things start to escalate, especially with, Higochi, which is the guy who is the current Kira. So, anyways, so they know who he is, they know who the current Kira is, it's just a matter of trying to figure out a way to draw him out, and I guess set him up to, or if anything, to capture him. So they actually come up with a really cool plan, where, or at least, our characters, where they decide to set it up where he has to draw himself out. How? By using Matsuda. And basically setting up where he goes on Sakura TV and claims that he knows the identity of Kira. And basically the way they have it set up, it's actually really cool where they have it set up where he has his face, like, at first, and by the way, with the help of the other board members that are sick and tired of Kira, they tell Higochi to check Sakura TV, and basically what will happen is they will have Higochi hopefully watching Sakura TV and watching as Matsuda, whose face is covered and his voice changed, to, I guess, go over his experience with the board members as well as the whole Kira thing. And as it's set up so beautifully, at some point the thing that's hiding his face will be removed, and this will make the guy go into utter shock, especially since at this point he needs a real name and face, and Higochi, he has his face, or Matsuda's face, but not his real name. So at this point, like, after he sees the initial broadcast, he's like scrambling, trying to figure out who Matsuda really is. And in that regard, he starts to freak out and start to kind of, I guess, lose some form of logic, because he starts, calling one of the other board members and calling a manager and another guy, until eventually, with a voiceover, they tell him to go to our organization, go into my office, use the PIN code, and the file should be in the office. So at this point, the guy grabs his things and then proceeds to go to that particular office to try to find Matsuda's name. And with the help of Weddy, I think that's her name, which is another character, which is the thief character that was introduced way back, proceeds to start tailing him, and the episode ends there. I'm gonna say right now, the best part was this whole plan that they set up with trying to catch Higochi. We do have some, and this has been periodic with the last couple of episodes, where Elle has been just on and off continuously trying to go back and forth whether or not Light is actually Kira. But because, again, Light doesn't remember anything and acts completely different than how he was before, Elle doesn't know whether or not it's actually him or not, that to being Kira. But all in all, This episode was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. And with that actually goes, the same goes anyway with episode 21. And yeah, both these were just amazing. And I really enjoyed them. I'm looking forward to talking about more. But for now, that was episodes 21 and 22. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.